Hello, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you can hear me well. This is the first time I am trying to do the Facebook Live on my computer, so it's a little bit of a test. I also got a new phone so that hopefully we don't get those volume outages like I did with my old phone. And I wanted to share this with you for a few days now, but I've had visitors and then time needing to recover from visitors. Basically, a few days ago, I was on Facebook and I don't look at the timeline that much, or if I do, I just see the top one or two things. But I just scrolled through for a few minutes and I realized that post after post was all about personal development and the funny thing of me refining, which things am I seeing in the timeline and which friends are in my life. I have so many people in my life who are influencers, who are trying to inspire other people, who are sharing their inspiration. But I was seeing message after message after message of how we should be, how we should act, what makes us the best that we can be in life. And I almost wanted to throw up because it was a you have to be this way, you have to be this way, you have to be this way kind of feeling that I was getting. So I wanted to speak to that because all of that is fine, but in another sense, they're all made up from our own opinions, from our own paradigms, from our own ways of believing that we need to be in this world. And those paradigms could be different among everyone. So that's just something to keep in mind there, that even if you visit from culture to culture, inherently we all want love, we all want peace, but how we go about attaining that is very different. So when I was in the bottom of Copper Canyon in Mexico, I believe I did one of my blog posts on this if you want the full story, but Copper Canyon, Barranca del Cobre is 4 times the size of the Grand Canyon, and I had hitchhiked and then backpacked through it, and then we needed to hitchhike again. We're finding ourselves sitting on this porch of this family at the bottom of a canyon in probably 120, 140 degree heat, and we're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. We couldn't even speak because the language was a little bit different than the traditional Spanish that I learned. So we just sat there doing nothing. But it had such a profound influence on me because they felt absolutely fine doing nothing. That was their personal development in a way, was being okay and being present in the moment, not feeling like there's anything we need to do in this life. For those of you who meditate, one of the benefits of meditating is that we can actually take a break from all the outside expectations and, in a sense, prove that we're not attached to it by letting it go during that time of meditating, of sitting and you could say doing nothing, you could say tapping into a higher power or your highest self, whatever it might be. But it's that sacrifice for a few moments of not needing to do something outwardly and not needing to follow the usual definitions of how we need to be. I'll say this in another way because a friend of mine was just visiting and he explains this in such an interesting way of the balance between the masculine and the feminine. And the feminine is actually perfect as it is. The emotions, the thoughts, the beliefs, the actions, the feminine quality itself, so not necessarily woman, but just feminine, is perfect as it is. All of that is fine, all of that is true. There's nothing that needs to change there. When change starts to happen is when we go out, when we want to make a difference, when we have a goal, when we have a mission, a purpose. That's the masculine energy. So we go to personal development programs so that we can create focus and direction towards the goals that we feel inspired to achieve. But the interesting thing is it's more of our masculine energy that's going to the personal development programs. But now combine the two together and say that when you go to any of these programs, when you read anybody's posts, know that it's still an opinion, it's a guideline, and it may or may not be the right one for you. Know that you have a choice. Know that that may be even the best way to achieve a goal within a certain culture in a certain time of consciousness. but you don't even have to achieve that goal, that that's a choice. So these are all things that potentially help us. Uh, the problem is that when we feel a lack because we haven't done these, we create trauma on the body. That might go into more of the feminine aspect of creating trauma, of saying that there's something wrong with ourselves when there isn't. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with ourselves. There's just something beneficial of if we have a goal that we want to achieve, of asking the question, how do we achieve that? And how do we achieve that in a way that feels inspiring? So any changes that you make on yourself are exciting. They are part of our ability to manifest, to change, to sculpt the world with the amusement of how we can shift and transform things. And this is still important to do because I do believe we came here to do something. And if we don't do that, that's when we start to lose life. That's when we have health issues sometimes. That's when we have fatigue issues sometimes. That's when we have depression sometimes. That's not the only reason for those, but that's a lot of that, is when we're losing sight of why we came here because of some idea even that that may not be a good idea, or a lack of belief in our ability to be successful. And that's when we're unhappy in this world. And so it's important to stay focused on what it is that you really want out of this life, whether it's staying fully in the feminine, fully in the masculine, or playing between both. And what I thought I would do for fun, I made this book at the mastermind that I went to in New York, I guess about a week and a half ago. And then I was sharing it with my family and my stepmom. And she said, I should share this with other people. This is goal setting. This is creating very, very clear visions. And what I did was I took this book and I used newspapers. So I cut out inspirational words, but then I also wrote very clear goals. What I will do for the next week is go through each different topic that I covered. So this is health, this is wealth, this is relationships, hey, this is your own personal development, all of those areas, and help you set goals in each of those areas. If you want to participate, then go ahead and get yourself some magazines. If you would like that to be a part of it, of cutting things out, you can even start cutting out some things that are inspiring for you. It's really fun to get some colored markers. And I say markers instead of pencils because pencils can be erased. This is permanent. This is really what you want to see happen. This is what you want to manifest within your life. I haven't checked my schedule yet, but we'll shoot for doing noon each day. So a little lunchtime break where you could spend a couple minutes setting your goals. So make sure you have a book as well for that. And of course, if you can't do it for lunch, then watch the recording after work. It doesn't take very long if you just split this up and do one focus each day. And what you'll see is that I've only picked pretty much one goal for each category that I'm working on. So this will be a nice, fun project. And if you have questions or ideas for it, then send that to me as well, so that I can work on that with you as we go through the week. Many, many blessings. Thank you so, so much for tuning in. I hope you know that you're perfect, that I love you as you are. And if you have a goal, you have a direction of something that you want to achieve in life, I'm happy to help you on that process too. Bye-bye.